You know, occasionally I've listened in to the members of Parliament talking, and they've always referred to the one who's just spoken as my learned colleague. Well, my young learned colleague has said it all in what she read, so I don't know what we are going to talk about because it's all there, and it could only have come from the Guru himself, and very beautifully done, and born orator. You know, I happened to look up. Sometimes we take these words for granted. So I looked up the real meaning of education. And I know, having had a slight knowledge of Latin, that jukere means to lead. But actually it means systematic instruction, which is fine. Then it goes further to say developing more knowledge, then further to say developing character and mental prowess, mental powers. It's not like psychic powers, mental powers. And I think that Maitri's idea, and I think this is her brainchild, this whole thing that we're doing now, this educational project, which I must say I'm very excited about. You know, Swamiji always used to teach, you mustn't become too excited, because then, you know, you get too much on a high, and then you have to go on to a low. So we always have to be nice and balanced, but I am very excited. This is something which I feel is a most marvellous project that we've done for a long time. You know, if somebody gets a little idea like this just in their minds, goodness knows who planted it there, but when that idea comes, if it's a really good idea which is going to help mankind, the whole universe helps and is behind that idea, and that is exactly what's happened here. And of course our universe is Gurudev, and Gurudev is obviously behind everything that we've done, not only since we first started this whole Ananda Kutir here, and since all you people came one by one. So first we had only a few people, and then came some of our friends from Durban, and then it was like it was on fire. And so we're very grateful to all of our Durbanites, because they really make these satsangs. It's been absolutely wonderful. And only Gurudev has done it. We know this. We know that Gurudev is orchestrating this whole thing. And we're just his little puppets, actually. But we're very proud to be that also. Pride is another thing we're not supposed to have, but yes, I'm very proud. So, you know, I don't know why I should be talking on such a subject of education, because I hardly had any, you know. I had a marvellous childhood with very little education. And it's ironical that I should be giving a talk on it. But you know, bearing in mind that the meaning of education, and the loveliest meaning I find is developing character and mental powers. Because, you know, this is a very important thing that sets the whole world going. Everybody has mental powers. Everybody is born with tremendous potential. There's not a person born that isn't born with a good reason for having been born, and who's going to make a change in the world, and of course to themselves. And so when a child is very young, it comes from this pure space, and it has all the knowledge inside it. We often find that little young children come out with the most amazing things. Just like that, the wisdom that comes from this is terrific. And then they go to school, and then they have to have a curriculum, and then they are told what to do or what not to do. And that innate enthusiasm and knowledge is, by the time they're even in standard 6 sometimes, that is gone. I think that there is a feeling in me that many schools are seeing this, and they are introducing and expanding a bit more to what they were. And there's some like the Rudolf Steiner and Montessori who do a little bit more than the others do. But I hope that we're going to still call it the Children of Light School with the little ones, and eventually the Coat School. I'm very fond of that word Coat, which Amit brought up, short for Children of Light School. Coat, it sounds great, doesn't it? The Coat School, I can see it up in lights. I can see it. Schools called Coat Schools all over South Africa. I hope I'll be able to peep down from wherever I am, to have a look, not to worry. So the Coat schools, they're going to be terrific, and they're going to have Gurudev's teachings. Of course, we have to keep to the educational curriculum, we have to be very correct, and so that they can get that certificate at the end, of course. But it's going to be a very special one, because it's going to have Gurudev's name on it. Won't have it actually in the name perhaps, that might be also, but Gurudev is going to be behind what they're doing, all the way up, from 3 years on. The little ones, when they're still so pure, they're so beautiful, these little children. It's an education just to look at them, see them and hear them talking. And the wisdom that comes from them, it's amazing. So, and another thing we want to encourage, I think, is that there's no feeling of the teacher being superior to the pupil. That used to be very much in the old days, the teacher with the stick and the poor little pupil having to sort of kowtow and shudder at the thought of the teacher coming in. I'll tell you a little anecdote. I don't mind, he probably doesn't mind hearing it again. About my mother when she went to school at the age of 3 because there was nobody to look after her. And so there was this poor child of 3 years old, and when the teacher was talking about birds in their nests agree, she had the teacher say, oh, but they don't, because she'd heard them fighting, little birds going on sometimes and wanted to get the same nest and so on. And you know what they did? They put it in the waste paper basket. And she was so small that she couldn't get out. So there she was, stuck for the rest of the lesson in a waste paper basket. Well, no, we're not going to do that with ours, are we? We're not going to put them in a waste paper basket. We're going to take them up. Yeah. So the idea of this school is to teach, but for the teacher to teach very lovingly, and for the child to love school so much that they're sad when it's on holidays because they're going to miss school. How many children are sad when holidays come and say, oh, that's what we want. We want the children to love the school so much that they don't want to have holidays, because every day is like a holiday. So there must be a most wonderful rapport between the teacher and the child. Tremendous love. Love, of course, is the key word. If there is love, then there's expansion. If there is no love, then everything goes cold. So we want to keep this alive, this whole idea that Maitri came up with, and which is being supported by all her friends and all the children, and we've had marvellous expansion already, and in time to come it's going to be a fantastic school. No snobbishness, hey? No snobbishness, no I'm better than you sort of thing. That's why I think maybe when the children get a bit older, we won't say children of light, we'll say coat. Then we won't upset or make anybody jealous. After all, children of light is a bit highfalutin, isn't it? But they will be. And they don't have to call it that later on, because when children get to teenager, they get a bit critical. Don't you find so? Yes? Yeah. You've got to be careful. You don't be careful, it doesn't look as if you are superior because you belong to the Children of Light school. But my feeling is this is going to be a great success. And I hope that wherever I am, I'm quite sure where I'm going when I go, but I hope that I will be aware of this beautiful place which is going to expand into some other beautiful place. And as Swamiji said at one stage when I didn't know quite where we were going to go from Alma Road, he said, that doesn't matter. If the spirit's there, the building will come. As long as the spirit's there, that's all that matters. Some people build a beautiful place, but the spirit's not there. It's better to have the spirit first, then everything follows that. Thank you very much.